Hi. So in today's session, we're going to not use any toys or any tools. We're just going to use our bodies, and we are going to do some animal shapes and some animal movements. And it really helps if you can imagine the animals when we're doing it. You know, we all have our cats and our dogs, and we watch them when they wake up and they stretch and they just have the best movements, don't they? So we're going to start off just in a ball. We're going to drop the head down to the ground, relax your neck, and let your shoulders just fall apart like they're sliding over the sides of your back. And I want you to imagine you're a little tortoise, and just take a nice deep breath right down into the back of your shell. And breathe all the air out, and gently lift your head up and look out of your shell. And then we'll drop the head back down again and let the head come to the floor. Relax the shoulders, take a nice deep breath in. And then when you breathe out this time, you're just going to lift the bottom up a little bit with your shins, pushing with your shins. Don't lean too hard on your head, and then slowly come back. Don't go too far. We always take care of our necks. Then we're going to put our hands underneath our shoulders. And we're going to lift the head up and peer outside of our tortoise shell again. And drop it back down. And then I'm going to stretch my hands forward, and I'm going to start to go into an angry cat. So I'm going to pull up my tummy and I'm going to round the back as I rock forward over my hands. And then I'm going to let my hips go back and be a happy cat, sticking my tail out for a tickle. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pull in the belly and I'll round it up. And then I'll stick out my tail and be a happy cat and reach back. Or like your dog when he wakes up and starts stretching. They go through all these movements, don't they? And sometimes, especially the dogs, they'll almost wriggle from side to side as they do it. So we can get there and wriggle. And wriggle maybe as we go back. One more time. Going forward. And going back. And then I'm going to keep my hands straight and just slide my arms forward till my bottom is over my knees. And we call this a camel. And my bottom is the camel's hump. Relax the forehead down and just take a nice big breath. And as you breathe out, I want you to almost feel like you're pulling your knees to your chest, but you're sitting back towards your heels, using the breath out to pull you back. Shall we try one more? We'll press it forward, we'll slide those hands forward and just let the back gently stretch. And then breathe out and drag yourself back as you breathe out. So I'm going to come back into my angry cat, and I'm going to roll myself up over the top of my hands. I'm going to go a little bit further forward, get my hips open, push outward with the hands and open the chest into a swan, nice long neck. And then I'll drop my chin to my chest, just like a swan, and curl back. If you've ever watched a swan moving his neck and when he's going to sort of bite into his chest. So we'll go again, and he unfolds his neck, we peel ourselves forward, and you're like a swan just peering out. We can look from side to side. What's going on out there? Oh, I got a tickle in my chest. I'm going to go nibble in my feathers and round back. I like to imagine pictures. This time I'm going to curl it forward just the same, round it up, unfold the back, unfold the neck. The spine is like a long snake. And then we look over the right shoulder, and like the cat again, you're going to swish your tail around to the right as you sit back. We call this a restless cat. We'll do it again. We'll scoop up the tummy, round over the top. Try not to be too tight in your shoulders. Relax the shoulders a little bit, and then look over the left shoulder and swing your hips around to the left, swishing your tail and back into your heels. One more time each way. We'll go up and over. Swan, restless cat, and back to your heels. And swan up. Unfold your long neck. Look over that left side and swing your hips around to the left and back. Don't ever force anything, just see how it feels. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a caterpillar. I'm going to go through the middle as low as I can with my chest. My hands might need to go wider or forward. And I'm going to go all the way down onto my tummy and then back up into my swan, relaxing on your legs and open the chest, and then we'll lower ourselves back down, bending the elbows, and then go bottom first. Think just like a caterpillar. The bum goes first and you're reversing back into your heels. We'll do it again. So go through the middle as low as you can, make your arms comfortable, do what you have to do. And this one might take a bit of practice because it's not that easy. It might look easy sometimes, but this bit is a little bit like having to say to your brain, my bottom has got to go first, and the brain's going, I don't compute, I don't compute. We'll try again. And through the middle. Might not be that way for everybody, but it definitely was for me. I'd get down here and I'd go, I don't know where to go. Bottom first, and back towards your heels. And I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to lie on my tummy. So I'm just going to go through the middle, go into my lovely swan, long neck there, and then bring it down, and we'll put the hands underneath your forehead, elbows to the side, and see if you can make your chest as flat as you can on the floor. So now this one is called a scorpion tap. You can think of a scorpion's tail, and it comes up. I'm going to lift my leg up straight. I'm going to look over my right shoulder, and as I bend my leg, that leg is going to turn out and go back, pulling my hip open a little bit, and then I'll roll the hip back down to the ground, and I'll put my tail back down. So the other side, it's a little sting of the tail. We lift it up at the back, and that tail is looking for its victim, and then come back to the ground. We'll do it again. So if you find it really hard to keep your arms here, we can open the arms a little bit wider. We could open them to a big W, and we could use the hands to almost lift the chest if you wanted to, right? So I can look over the shoulder, kick up the leg, and I could lift the chest a little bit, look where that leg is going, and come back. And then the other side, kick it up and look, and come back. And then shall we go back with our reversing caterpillar? So we go bottom first, knees down, and draw the knees towards your chest as you rock back onto your knees. And then let's come back onto our all fours. So now I'm crawling. I've got a nice flat back. My middle finger is facing forward, and I'm going to go opposite hand and knee and put it down. Opposite hand and knee and put it down. And I'm going to crawl forward and make sure that I put my hand and knee down at the same time without rounding my back. And then I'm going to go backwards. Also opposite hand and knee and opposite hand and knee, and my back's not wobbling. If I had a tray of teas on my back, they're not chinking together. And then I'm going to go forward again, keeping the tummy, holding my back in place. So my whole body feels like it's wrapped in a nice bandage, staying nice and still. And my bottom is not tucking under every time I crawl. And then I'm going to crawl back one more time, keeping that back nice and flat. Good job. Okay, so then I'm going to make it a little bit tougher. I'm going to tuck my toes under, and I'm going to take the knees just off the ground, and I'm going to see if I can crawl there. Opposite hand and leg. Make sure you land at the same time, and I'm trying not to go up and down with my bottom. And then I'm going to go backwards. Which animal does this actually remind you of? Interesting, huh? And then bring those feet together, and we're going to lift the hips up into the air and stretch the legs. And now we're going to go opposite hand and foot again, and try and keep the legs straight as we go forward and swap and go forward. And then that's a good, nice bear crawl. And then we're going to go back, back, back. And then when you're ready, just stop in the middle and sort of Find your big V shape, and we call this an elephant. Imagine it's your elephant's trunk swinging. I'm going to go one leg at a time, and the elephant trunk swings forward and back, forward and back. And in a perfect world, I want to try and touch my toes to my wrist, but I've got a little ways to go. My trunk is not that free. And two, and we'll do one more, and then we'll just bend those knees and bring them back down onto the ground. Relax, shake out your arms. Oh, let's have a little swing, and let the shoulders be a little easy, and a nice big circle. Alrighty, ready for the next one? So this one might use a little bit of thinking. This is a bit of a brain one. So we're going to float the knees just off the ground, and I want you to take your right foot underneath the left one. Left hand is going to come off. So right foot underneath, left one comes off. And then I'm going to come back the way I went. So right foot is going to come back, left hand is going to come back. Then the left foot goes underneath, right hand goes over, and then come back. Dunk. Knees just off the ground. And again, hand this away. And come back. And then the other way. And come back. So move your right foot underneath and come back, and the left one underneath, and put your bottom down. Awesome. Let's have a little hug, relaxing those shoulders. Shake it out a little bit. I might just turn the other way. And from here, we're going to tuck ourselves into a little ball. Pull those feet up off the ground. Take a nice breath, and then put them back down onto the floor. So if I put my hands around the front of my shins, I'm going to open my knees a little bit. And I'm just going to see if I can lift my feet up and put them back down without rocking my body backwards and forwards. If I can just lift them up and put them down. Tiptoe, tiptoe. One more. Hold it there. Should we cross our ankles and hold onto our feet? That's it. Let your knees open, and we're going to roll back, and back there we're going to swap ankles. So we're going to roll back, and we're going to swap the ankles on top and roll back up. And roll back, swap the ankles and roll up. Again, roll back, swap at the ankles and roll up. Again. See how you're going. You want to try and keep that lovely round shape in your back. Sometimes we thump onto the floor when our backs are too straight. And one more time. And when I cross over this time, rolling forward, I'm going to roll all the way over, put my hands onto the floor, jump back with my feet, and then I'm going to walk my hands back to my feet. And I'm going to roll up, standing position, and roll down again. And walk the hands forward. Jump my feet back in. And then if I can just lift my arms, lift my chest, and slowly sit the bum down, and then cross the ankles. So shall we do 3 rolls? We'll go 3, swap the ankles, roll forward. And roll back 2, swap the ankles and roll forward. And 1, swap the ankles, roll forward onto your hands. Dunk, jump back. Very nice. Walk the feet, the hands to the feet. We'll do a lovely roll up. And we'll roll back down. And we'll walk the hands forward. We're going to jump into those hands. And then lift the arms. See if you can lift your back and very gently, sit the bum back down. Cross the ankles. You do it one more time. We call this one the crab in Pilates. So we do a crab, swap the ankles, roll back. And again, 2. And one more time. 1. And this is the one where we go into our hands. We rock forward, onto the feet, onto the hands, and then we walk the hands back towards those feet. And just stop there and kind of shake everything out. Bend the knees, stretch the knees, bend the knees, and we'll roll it up. And I hope that got you all your blood flowing and everything feeling lovely and loose. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time.